And with me now is CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham. Eric, thanks so much for joining us, and I wanted to get your thoughts on those comments that we heard right there from Trump saying he might either let the deal expire or be replaced with a new deal between Canada and Mexico or separately. Your thoughts on what we heard from the U.S. president?
Well, these are all just not only negotiating tactics, but they're also part of Donald Trump's policy of cruelty, where he certainly wants to make things as uncomfortable as possible, specifically for Canada. And what we're seeing here is while the CUSMA public hearings are actually taking place in Washington right now, not far from where we are. In fact, today marks the second day that those public meetings will be happening. What we have also heard from the U.S. trade representative, the person who is actually in charge of overseeing those public meetings, he's also indicated that Donald Trump is signaling the possibility of revising, but more likely actually exiting the agreement. And of course, what we know and the reason for that is the president is seeking maximum leverage from Canada. And we don't know what that leverage point actually is, but we know when President Donald Trump came into office, he made abundantly clear his goal is to make Canada a state of the United States. And so if Donald Trump believes that this leverage combined with continuing to make it difficult, particularly on trade and other economic policies, can move Canada in his direction, that's what Donald Trump is attempting to do. And even though these meetings will overwhelmingly showcase not only the importance, but also how beneficial this agreement has been for decades to both sides of the border, Donald Trump isn't listening to that right now at all.
And we've heard the U.S. president say that before, not just specifically about Canada and Mexico, but that many countries, if not all countries, had been taking advantage of the United States, particularly when it came to trade. Now, if Trump does attempt to split the deal and tries to renegotiate separately with Canada and Mexico, what could that mean for the Canadian side of the deal?
Not just the Canadian side, but I think what we will see is just a much, much worse agreement, both for Canada, for the United States, and also for Mexico. What we have seen over 60 years has been economic integration where both sides of the border have benefited immensely. In fact, if you look at the auto industry, which in the United States accounts for nearly 10% of GDP, so we're talking about a massive economic engine. Right now, we know that billions of dollars a day in parts and manufacturing cross the U.S. and Canada. And so if the president is now looking at reshaping that agreement, we could see where the deal could have an adverse impact not only on workers, but also on companies and, more importantly, on consumers as well.
CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham. Eric, always appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
You bet. Thank you.